In Chapter 10 of All Quiet on the Western Front, Paul and his comrades finally receive a good assignment, guarding an abandoned village. Paul notes that it provides a rare opportunity to temporarily relax and enjoy themselves. The soldiers gather all the bedding and food from the abandoned houses, prepare a huge meal, and play songs on a piano. But observation balloons spot the smoke from the chimney of the abandoned house in which they're feasting, and the village is shelled. They continue trying to cook while shells come screeching through the windows, realizing that the village may soon be blown to pieces. Yet for 2 weeks, they're able to eat, drink, and relax in the village without being disturbed again, wishing they could stay there until the war ends. But they're eventually sent to evacuate another village whose inhabitants are already fleeing, and more shelling from the French begins. Kropp is shot above the knee. He and Paul painstakingly hide and flee. When they take cover, they realize they're both wounded. A passing ambulance picks them up. The two hope their injuries might send them home. At the hospital, Paul's nervous, having heard that surgeons are quick to amputate. He's operated on without anesthesia and endures unbearable pain, but he keeps his leg. On the train back, Albert develops a fever, and Paul overhears that they're going to take him off at the next stop. In order to stay together, Paul fakes a fever so that they can disembark together and be taken to another hospital. Praying of nuns outside the soldiers' room keeps them awake until one soldier throws a bottle at them. Many soldiers on their ward disappear, never to return from the so-called death room. A blind man tries to stab himself in the heart with a fork in his despair. Rumors abound that surgeons are experimenting on soldiers. Albert's leg is amputated, and he claims he'll shoot himself if he can just get hold of a gun. Paul's overwhelmed by the thought of how many thousands of similar hospitals full of wounded and dying soldiers there must be in Germany, France, and Russia. While he's still young, all he knows of life is despair, death, and fear. After a few weeks, Paul's wounds are healed and he goes home for a brief recovery before he's called back to the front lines. The scenes among the soldiers in the evacuated village are darkly comedic. They're so determined to enjoy themselves that they risk their lives to cook a luxurious meal as shells whiz by. The chance to act normal means too much to their sense of sanity. Paul believes that anyone who supports war should be required to visit a hospital like the ones he stays in to see the true extent of the damage caused by war. Paul laments, "Our knowledge of life is limited to death."